All right, guys. Well, it looks like Amazon and Smilegate have teamed up to put out some statements and talk about, what's going on with Lost Ark right now, as well as kind of apologize for some mistakes. Keep in mind, we'll kind of take everything with a grain of salt, though, right? This is all, very officially made stuff by people whose job it is to make things sound nice and do public relations, smooth things over, all of that. But it does sound like some good stuff will come out of the backlash, regardless of what the motives are. So here they basically just talk about Smilegate actually being at Seattle in their office, working with them so they can communicate directly while they work on the upcoming roadmap, make some tweaks to the progression rate, etc., stuff like that. All right, guys, all of this stuff is super long-winded, very long. Every section is ridiculously long. So as we go through this, I'm going to try to be summarizing stuff. Initially, they kind of start out here just talking about how it's been a crazy and humbling experience, all that kind of good, sounds nice stuff. And, they get into why they released with Tier 3, talking about beta feedback and stuff like that. And so they decided to launch with Tier 3 based on that kind of feedback. They kind of addressed that, Gold River himself had suggested that people, take it slow and just kind of enjoy the game. And it seems like that's what a lot of people in our region are doing. So they're not progressing at any kind of crazy rate. And they get into a lot of stuff like that here. They go on to address the Argos edition being put in and actually say they had considered having it in there from launch, but they decided to hold it back so that Argos would be this special introduction and bridge the gap before we get the Legion raids. They go in here and directly talk about people, feeling like that Lost Ark was feeling pay to win because of how they did this and us not having, not having enough like progression materials and things costing a lot. We don't have the good enhance rates. So then down here, they get into it and kind of talk about part of the reasons why they misjudge stuff is they're saying that part of that is real money trading and bots have been inflating the price of things. I'm not 100% sure. The real money trading, yes. I feel like bots would help lower the price because they'd be flooding the market with materials for people to buy. So it's probably more likely the real money trading type issues, I would think, that would be affecting that. All right, so the next section here, they kind of get into, based on all this community feedback that they've been getting, that they've definitely realized that providing players with more content and materials and ways to progress through the content they currently have is more ideal than adding new content that isn't really benefiting, a large enough percentage of the player base with so few people being there. Next section here pretty much sounds like they are saying they will be delaying the initial planned timing of Legion raids coming to the game to allow players more time to acquire materials and prepare characters to get ready for that content. And they say, don't worry, more content is still coming, right? Horizontal stuff like new classes, islands, and the continent of South Vern. South Vern would technically not be horizontal content, though, because I'm sure it all requires a fairly high item level. It is after Punica, right? So it is item level based. I am almost positive. I'm not sure exactly what that item level will be, though. Next section is talking about how they've heard the feedback that people want the advanced classes and skins come in faster. I know I've heard a lot of both of those, probably equal on either one. And they talk about how it's kind of complicated because they're linked together. And some of the skins you maybe want, like, didn't exist for some of the classes in the game. And before they bring them into this version, they would like to have those classes version of the skin also including their custom weapon, right? So it takes a little bit more time. And then on classes, they say that and they also mentioned that we are getting it at an accelerated rate already compared to what the other regions did, and that they are going to do the same thing with the classes. They're going to be doing an accelerated rate on the classes, and the plan is to kind of try to release classes that fit with the content that's being released as they release the content. But there is no real detail on if they're going to speed it up anymore from the original like 2 to 3 months that was stated for class releases. The next section sounds really promising, starting off talking about bots and hunting materials, And a shortage of tier 3 progression materials coupled with problems introduced by bots have made honing materials too expensive and a burden for players. Very true. To combat this, we will be supplying more progression materials for players to earn through fun in-game events, injecting more gold into the mid to end game, and continuing our hard stance against bots. All right, these next sections are pretty good. The bot one here is saying that, you know, they did the mass banning of bots around the Argos time, and since then, like while they're monitoring stuff, it looks like the bot activity has declined, and that the gold, you know, inflations and issues kind of going on with the honing materials and stuff is starting to ease itself up a bit, and they're going to continue like to, you know, ban them as they can. Next section's also really good here. Injection of honing materials. In next week's update, we will provide additional Grand Prix honing rewards, introduce a new casual event Guardian raid, and kick off the first season of competitive proving grounds. So this Guardian raid event is going to work similar to the Grand Prix with its own special vendor and a currency that you're going to get in order to be able to buy stuff from them. It's going to have a scale of balance applied, right? So it just means that you're going to be item level matched to the Guardian. It says that they are relax, play, and have fun type things. So I don't know if they're actually easier versions of the Guardians, which would be really interesting. Anyone item level 250 or higher can participate. They give a list of all the Guardians that will be available, but all the more specific details on this are going to come in next week's update post. Next two here, pretty quick, they're adding the books that you can buy to increase the honing success chance to the Grand Prix event that you'll be able to buy for the weapon and the armor. That's really nice there. And PvP rewards, they just basically tell you that you will be able to get weekly honing materials. Again, not a lot of specific detail on this one yet, but they say it's going to be coming in that post as well. Closing it out here, they let us know that March 21, after that update for that week, that they are going to also give us that awesome, you know, set of celebration stuff that the Korean players got to celebrate the successful launch of the version of the game in NAEU. And it comes with quite a bit of stuff. You know, new animal skin chest, a Mokoko pet selection chest, Mokoko board mount selection chest, Lost Ark United structure, appearance change ticket, 132 peons, Menelik's tomb, legendary card pack selection chest -- 2, jukebox songs that will be provided when jukebox content is released in the future. Interesting. So because we're getting this, also we're getting stuff that we don't even have in the game yet to use it. And you can see cool. I have pictures of a lot of the stuff here, silly ass outfits here for people that love that kind of stuff. These are actually really cool. I'm probably gonna end up with one of these kind of ones here. The board's pretty cool. And closing it out, with such an expansive and complex game, there will be nuances and differences between the players in each region, but this is just the start of the adventure. Our teams at Amazon Games and Smilegate RPG will continue to listen to players and analyze the data to find the right time for new in-game content as we try to catch the Western version up to the rest of the world. All right, there we go, guys. It all sounds pretty good, but you got to keep in mind always, right, there is that little bit of like, they're paid to do this and try to, like, you know, keep you happy, all that stuff. And it sounds like they're doing a bunch of really cool stuff that might get people fairly excited, but I didn't read anything in there about fixing the honing rate thing. They didn't address the honing rate thing really, right? They're not addressing that, and that's one of the biggest problems. And the other versions of the game have those better rates. And like, without the better rates, the extra materials are just extra fails, right? Like, I emptied out all of the honing stuff from the Naruni event on like the first day. I did it all. Every single thing I tried failed. So like, the extra materials didn't help at all. We need the honing rate fix. I don't understand why that got brushed over really. And that is not one of the main things being addressed and fixed and talked about in this thing here. That is one of the biggest things I see everybody talking about. It's the rates, even more so than the lack of materials or the cost of materials, right? It's all the failing. Anyway, like, outside of that one serious issue, it's a pretty serious one though, it all sounds pretty good. I'm excited about a lot of the stuff, you know. I'm excited for like my gift and you know, all the other stuff that is being added to help us get more materials and just kind of more fun stuff. But the honing rates, 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 the honing rates. That's all I really got to say. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll link it so you can see it if you want. Thank you very much to all the YouTube members and the Patreon people who helped me be able to do this. Catch you guys in the next video.